Okay, so one of the ways that I try and stay fresh, I challenge myself sometimes to pick up an object that is kind of more or less every day, or I see every day, or somehow inspired by, and apply like either my aesthetic to it, or apply something just slightly different to it, so that I've gone, oh, I've evolved this from point A to point B, and I've learned a little something in doing that. I'm not getting paid for it. No one's telling me to do it. It's just something that I like to do for myself. I think of it sort of like aesthetic stretching, or it's kind of like doing push-ups with your skill set. It's in your best interest, or it's in my best interest, to sort of stretch my legs and try things out, even no matter how simple they may seem. So this is a tripod for cameras. It's really sturdy. So I use it, I just sit this thing around, and I'm like, dang, that thing looks really cool. I gotta do a spaceship out of that one day. So here we are. I took this and I started looking at it, and I imagined what it might be like flying through space, you know, maybe like this, and then maybe it is able to, you know, open like that in its tripod mode, right? And it's able to fly around, and maybe it docks with things. What it docks with, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But let's just take a quick gander at how I sort of, you know, looked closely at the way that this thing was made and manufactured, industrial design, and how I changed it. And I was pretty stoked at how it turned out, because it's really pretty simple forms. You know, it's a sphere with 3 sticks, right? And there's a pivot. There's some pivots right here. And then there's this thing sticking out the top, which is pretty cool. I think I got rid of this front piece, but let's take a look, see what I did. I sketched out, you know, kind of a spaceship version of this using, you know, what I like to use: the blue pencil, the black pen, and a larger black pen for heavy lines. It's definitely got, you know, pivot, similar to our tripod, our small scale tripod. And I started thinking, well, wow, if those can pivot, what if these things fly through space and they are able to meet up, you know, with one another in these spots, right? So imagine these things are floating through space, they back into a charging station, and the charging station can hold 2 of them, you know, like this. And if the individuals on the inside want to hang out, they can walk in to the charging station, I don't know, get some donuts, maybe some coffee, chill, get charged up from the solar panels, get back in their ship, go off, folds in, goes away. So that was a story that I kind of was developing just by sitting around doing these sketches. So after I did the sketches, I moved over into Maya and banged out a pretty quick model of our piece, of our ship. And it's got a little interior. If we go a little bit closer, so 4 people can sit in there. And then when this thing's open, it might look like that. So here we are with our ship open. When I'm modeling, it's great because I can see how everything lines up. If I fold this down, what exactly does that look like? So that lines up, so this line works, right? When it's folded down, when it opens, it looks like that. So I'm kind of doing some industrial design as I go. And once I get my vehicle kind of hacked up, I can build the back end. And this is what it would look like if they were 2 in space. So again, we could look at it through a number of different cameras. Again, I can, if I wanted to develop just a still image of this, which I did, I don't have to wait very long, and I'm able to sort of go into Photoshop after I do a render and see how the light hits it in certain ways. I'm able to eventually kind of give go in and paint more detail and story. Like, oh yeah, there's I can start to think about what the interior might look like. Of course, once we are finished with this, we show our client. The client goes, yeah, I like this, let's develop the interior. That's when I jump back into my sketch mode and treat this as a whole new project and begin to take a look at that space that I've already kind of banged out and am able to say, okay, well, if this is the scale of what it is, I'm going to have 4 seats. What do those seats look like? And for this particular design, I referenced some race car seats. I'll call out what type of materials are on here so that when I bounce back into another program, like let's say Keyshot, which I think we talked about a little bit earlier. So I'd model this up next if the client likes it, and I can throw perforated leather on some areas and smooth leather on some areas. We always want to try and marry our interior to our exterior. And this is where directors and cameramen and creatives like to be able to go, okay, we're going to start, we arrived here, but this is where we want to start filming our actors and actresses. And then that will help people imagine what the exterior of the ship's finish would be. Is it old? Is it new? Is it used? Things like that. So all of that just to kind of do some push-ups in my mind, from a tripod that was sitting around the house. And I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to get that out of my system, so to speak. So while it was a push-up mentally and creatively, I've been wanting to do something with this for a while. So I'm really, really stoked at how that turned out. MSI has made a big effort to evolve their creator series. If you like what you saw, there's a link in the description that will take you to information on the Creator Z16. I really enjoyed banging around on this thing. If you like what you saw with regards to what I do, please check me out. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Colie Wertz. Thanks a lot.